Hey there, welcome back to Cisco Reads Books. Today we got a book review for you, and it is Steve Berry's Templar, The Templar Legacy. So this is book one in the Cotton Malone series, which is a 20-book series. So much for not starting new long series, because I definitely suck at that. But no, this book is fantastic. I'll read you the back. We'll see what we're getting into, learn a little bit more about Cotton, and we'll go from there. One-time U.S. operative Cotton Malone teams up with his former supervisor, Stephanie Nell, to find the legendary cache of wealth and forbidden knowledge thought to have been lost forever when the Knights Templar were exterminated in the 14th century. Nell is armed with vital clues to a series of centuries-old puzzles scattered across Europe, but also in pursuit of the historic prize is a shadowy zealot with an army of assassins at his command. At the end of the trail lies a discovery that could rock the civilized world, and in the wrong hands, bring it to its knees. So, Cotton Malone used to work for a government agency. He has now retired and is in the book selling, buying industry. We start off in Copenhagen, or we start off with a prologue of James de Molay, or Jacques de Molay, the Templar leader who was burned at the stake, basically for heresy, by Philip when the Templars were exterminated in 1307. We start off with that scene, but as we get into the Cotton Malone story, we are in Copenhagen, where he's at a book buying auction where he meets up with Stephanie, and shit goes awry. They don't end up getting the book that they want to get. And there's basically a shootout in like the first chapter of the book, and it leaves you wondering like what the hell is going on. And come to find out that Stephanie Nell, his old supervisor from his government agency, her son had died in a rock collapse, basically following in his father's footsteps, which was researching Templar history. This book is fantastic. The amount of knowledge that Steve Berry puts into this about the Templars and the various rumors of what happened to the remaining Templars, as well as their treasure. Because after they were exterminated, the knowledge and treasure that they had was never really recovered, because de Molay did have a inkling that the time of the Templars was running out. So he hid all of this. And still, even to this day, as far as I know, it has not been found. And the rumors of what happened to the remaining Templars remains a widely contested subject in, conspiracy theory circles. Fact that maybe they merged with the Jesuits, maybe they became pirates. Like there's just so many theories out there, and this touches on a lot of them, whether it be head on or tangentially. But this book was fantastic. Cotton Malone as a character was just wonderful character building. Steve Berry is one of those authors that his characterization is just flawless. He generally writes mostly in the third person, limited perspective. From Cotton Malone, we get a couple of chapters from Stephanie, and we get a couple of chapters from other people kind of interweaving the stories, which adds suspense for the reader. And just a phenomenal tale. The only other book that I've read by Steve Berry at this point was The Romanov Prophecy, which was top-notch standalone material, standalone thriller about the Romanov dynasty, and it was great. So going into this, I kind of knew what to expect, but I did not expect the depth of character that I got from Cotton Malone. This is going to be another series that I will continue to completion, because I really enjoy this character, as well as others that we meet along the way. Particularly de Rockford, which is the leader of that shadowy organization that's following them, which I won't go into too much because that would spoil some things. But he's a great villain. He's one of those villains that's very well rounded, and you can see why he wanted to do why he is seeking the knowledge and treasure from the Templars, and just like his motivations are very human, and those are the type of villains that I really enjoy, because you can see, like he is trying to do what in his mind is for the betterment of society, humanity, from a certain angle. But it doesn't mean that the way that he's going about doing it is going to be, you know, good or seen as, something beneficial to society as a whole. So he's one of those more complex villains that we get. And that always compels me to really like a story when there's a really compelling antagonist. And he is definitely one of them. Also, we get the character of Cassiopeia Vitt, which has her own spin-off series connected to the Cotton Malone stories. And she is a wonderfully portrayed character as well, of Middle Eastern descent, and is kind of caught up in this preserving of Templar history. So definitely, like the amount of historical data in this book that comes out through the narrative itself, doesn't make it feel like it's a history lesson, but it makes it really fun to like read and just kind of learn more about this. Because I mean, after I read this book, I did do a deep dive on some of the Templar conspiracy theories, just because, I'm a writer and an editor, and I love research. So I went down the rabbit hole, and it is nuts how much shit is out there. But yeah, I am looking forward to jumping into book 2, which is the Alexandria Link, and learning more about Cotton and just going through adventures with him, because that dude is an awesome character. So I highly recommend Templar Legacy by Steve Berry, book 1 in the Cotton Malone series. Get into it. It is another one of those series that is going to be a long running series for me. It is 20 books, and especially now that I started a couple other very long running series, and I was not supposed to start anymore, but failed miserably at that. But yeah, no, this book, I had this in my car for a while. This was my car book. Like, if I'm out and about and I have nothing else with me book wise, which I usually do, this is the one I pick up. And I was at several events recently where I didn't bring anything with me. One of them being my son's 13th birthday event that we went to, Aquatica, over in Orlando, which is like the SeaWorld water park, basically. And he's 13, so he was there with his friends. He went off and did his thing. I, as you can see, do not like the sun very much. And I wasn't about to follow around 13-year-old kids all day. So I sat down under an umbrella and read this book for 4 hours, and got about 90% done with it by the time we left. And just phenomenal. This was not a book that I was expecting to read, obviously, because, it had been in my car for so long, and I had started it a while ago. But I am so glad that I finished this book that, unfortunately, it starts us on another long-running series, but fortunately, it's a good character that we get to follow. So, check out Cotton Malone, check out Templar Legacy, and check out Steve Berry's other works, because his standalone Romanoff Prophecy is perfect. So until next time, read, because reading is fundamental.